Leadership is an act. An act is the doing of a thing. An act is the doing of a thing. It is doing something voluntarily. An act is something that is done voluntarily. You are not forced. You are not coerced. If you are the type of person that is forced to do what is right that you ought to do, it implies you lack self-governance. And this disqualifies you from being a leader or being in leadership. Say that again. If you are the type of person that is being forced or coerced to do what is right that you ought to do, it implies that you lack self-governance, and this disqualifies you from being a leader or being in leadership position. Don't forget, leadership is an act of leading. Leadership is an act. An act is the process of doing something. Process of doing something. Therefore, leadership is a process. It is never a sudden flight. Leadership is a process, never a sudden flight. It is a process of doing something. If you are not doing anything, or if you are doing nothing, you are not in leadership. If you are not doing anything, you are idle, you are not in leadership. Leadership is not for idle people. That is the reason we have bad leadership in Africa. People that are idle, people that are not doing anything, are being called upon to come and lead people who are busy in their businesses. Leadership is an act of doing something. If you are not doing anything, you have no business in leadership. Are you hearing what I'm saying? If you look around us, we find out that most of our politicians outside politics, they don't have anything that they are doing. The only thing they are doing is politics. They have no business, they have no career. They are just idle. Then election time is coming, they co-opt them in. That's why we are having bad leadership in Africa. Leadership is not for idle people. Leadership is for people that are doing something, busy with their life. People who are doing something to accomplish purpose. If you are doing nothing, you are not in leadership. If you are doing nothing, you are not in leadership. Leadership is you doing it first before commanding others to do it. I say that again. Leadership is you doing it first before commanding others to do it. If you reverse it, that's bad leadership. Commanding others to do it whereby you have not done it is bad leadership. Leadership requires that you, the leader, you do it first before commanding others. Luke chapter 1 verse 1. The former treatise have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Jesus began both to do first. Did you see it? Both to do and teach. The former treaty have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Jesus began both to do and teach. Acts chapter 1 verse 1. Notice Jesus began to do before teaching. Both to do and to teach. Doing it set an example for the followers to follow. Commanding them to do it without an example is giving them an uphill task. Don't tell people to carry seats whereby you, the leader, you cannot stand up to lift up one seat. It's a bad example in leadership. Don't tell people to come to church or to walk by 8, and you, that is the leader, you are coming by 10. It's a bad example. Good leadership requires that you do it first before commanding others. Leadership is about right doing. Doing the right thing the right way. Leadership is about right doing. Doing the right thing the right way. Leadership is not just doing the right thing. It is doing the right thing the right way. Doing the right thing the wrong way will make the right thing to appear as the wrong thing. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. Doing the right thing the wrong way will make the right thing to appear as the wrong thing. Leadership is not all just about doing the right thing. Rather, it is doing the right thing the right way. And whereby you fail to do the right thing the right way, the right thing you are doing the wrong way will make the right thing to appear the wrong thing. To appear as the wrong thing. Please listen to me. Leadership is an act. An act implies action. Therefore, leadership is action. Not just anyhow action, the right action. Leadership is taking the right action. No matter how good a right decision is, without the right action, the right decision will not change anything. Did you hear that one? No matter how good the right decision is, without the right action, the right decision will not change anything. It is not decision yet until it is backed up with the right action. You have not decided until you back your decision with the right action. There's a popular, how will I say it, illustration on this stuff I'm trying to teach now, that 10 frogs are sitting on a fence. 10 of them decided to jump. 10 of them decided to jump out of the fence. 2 jumped out of the fence. How many frogs are remaining? Ten of them decided to jump. Only 2 jumped. So how many are remaining? Okay, let me give you another way. 10 monkeys are sitting on a branch of a tree. 10 of them decided to jump down. How many monkeys are still on the tree? Why? Did they take a decision? But did they finally decided? They took a decision, but they didn't act on their decision. Not acting on your decision equals no decision. Not acting on your decision equals no decision at all. Please listen to me. I will say it one more time. No matter how good a right decision is, without the right action, the right decision is dead. The role of leadership is to act right in all things. act right in all things, act right towards people. The role of leadership is to act right in all things and act right towards people. The role of leadership is to take the right action always. As often as you can as a leader, take the right action always. If you cannot take the right action when it is required of you, you are not in leadership, or you are not an effective leader. If you cannot take the right action when it is required of you, when it's being demanded from you, you are not in leadership. You are in something else. Leadership requires that you take what? The right action. It is not being emotional. It's about doing the right thing. It is about the right thing being done. It is not being emotional. It's not being tribalistic. Good leadership requires that you take the right action always. And when duty calls upon you as a leader, do the right thing. Are you hearing me? It's not about being emotional. Let me give you an example. A doctor's wife had a tumor. And the tumor, if not removed, will kill the wife in 2 days' time. And the surgery is needed. And the doctor said, "Oh, I don't want surgery knife to cut my wife." What is the right thing? Surgery. Cut her open and remove it. He said, "No, I don't want my wife to be in pain." It is not about the pain. It's not about the suffering. It's about the right thing. It is not about being sentimental. What is the right thing? "No, I don't want my wife to cry. I don't want my wife to cry." Then you can as well go and buy coffin. Because she will surely, in dying, she will die. Sanda, shoot the mosquito. Listen to me. Leadership is about doing the right thing, the right way. No matter how hard it is, do the right thing. No matter what it will cost you, do the right thing, because leadership will cost you something. Leadership is the act of leading. Leadership is the act of what? Leading. Leadership is leading. If you are not willing to take the lead, then you have no business in leadership. If you are not willing to take the lead, you have no business in leadership. Leadership is the willingness and boldness to step out and take the lead when others are afraid to step out. Among Jesus Christ's disciples, all the disciples, who do you remember often? Peter. Why? Peter is always eager to take the lead. Peter has the willingness to take the lead. Jesus was walking on water. 12 of them, they were in the boat. They became afraid. Peter said, "Jesus, if you are the one, tell me to come." Nobody spoke out. It's Peter. And Peter is the only human being on earth, apart from Jesus, that walked on water. Because of the willingness and boldness to step out. I know all you remember is that he walked on water and he began to sink. Some of you didn't even remember that he walked on water. All you know is that Peter began to sink. That's what you remembered. But the truth is that Peter walked on water twice. He stepped out, he was walking on water until the boisterous storm came. He began to sink. And Jesus held his hand. They didn't disappear into the boat. They walked on water into the boat. If you are going to be a leader in your generation, you must have the willingness and the boldness to step out when others are afraid. The real leader was Peter. The rest, they were cowards. In this generation, our problem is the willingness to step out. We are not willing. We can complain about bad leadership, but we are not willing to step out. Can I talk to the young people and the youth? Can I talk to people of my generation? Gowan was at what age when he became the head of state? Find out. IBB was at what age when he ruled this country? It's not that they are the smartest. It's just because they are willing and they were bold to step out. Look at you. With your level of education, you are afraid to step out of your father's house, to go and live in your own house. You are so afraid. But somebody at your age was not just managing himself, he was managing millions of people. Their lives were in his hand. They were as young at your age. What's the difference? It's not intelligence, because this age is the smartest in terms of intelligence. What's the difference? Willingness and boldness. They were willing to step out. They were daring. What young people are lacking in this age is willingness. Willingness. How willing are you? How willing are you? How bold are you to step out? Listen, what you are afraid of is already afraid of you. We were traveling. Somebody told me that armed robbers blocked the road. I know we had a good car. I told him, I said, those who block the road, they should be between my age or my age mates. They are not afraid to be there in the night. They are not afraid if snake will come out. They are not afraid if police will come out. Then me, I will be afraid of my fellow human being. I told the guy, I said, make sure that this car can run 120. Two things will happen. It's neither one group will live or the other group will die. And I know the one that will die. They are the one that will die. He said they will call gun. I said before they will call gun, when they see the speed of the car, nobody will tell them to get out of the way. It's called boldness. It's called willingness to step out. For the first time in Nigeria, the youth stepped out. And for the second time, I'm giving you prophecy. 2023, the youth will step out. Nothing will stop them. If anybody is telling you what you saw in NSAS is just the beginning. It's called Take Back Your Country from the hand of the so-called cabal. The so-called cabal, they started their Kabbalistic cabal at a tender age. Now the problem we have, please, I'm not trying to digress. And notice that David came to fight Goliath. The Bible said that Goliath was a warrior from his youth. David came to fight. They told David, you don't have experience because you're a youth. But the man he's going to fight was a warrior, a champion from his youth. That means his own country gave him opportunity to start early. Now that's the problem we have in the kingdom. If you want to ordain a young person into a leadership position, you will hear people in church. You will hear them say, he's a young man, don't make him a pastor. He's a young girl, don't make him a pastor. But the same age group or people of his age in the world are captain of industry. But your own that is in the church cannot lead. Do you know that the so-called children church have become the adult church? The so-called youth church have become the main church. You see that church is only young boys and young girls. The pastor, even young. The old grow to die. Anything that is old is about to diminish and vanish. Anything that is young has the potency to grow. Longevity is on the side of the young. As I round up, leadership implies coming or ranking first. Coming out first. Ranking first. It implies foremost. If you are not willing to act first, then you have no business in leadership. You must be willing to do what? Act first. Note better that leaders act first. That is, they serve first but eat last. Leaders serve first, they eat last. Good leadership requires that you act first, not others acting first, then you sit down, they look. That's African leadership. Good leadership requires that you act first and others follow. Leadership is you doing it first, setting an example first for others to follow. Leadership is you acting first. Leaders act first. Everybody say it with me. Leaders act first. Say it like you mean it. Leadership requires that you step out first before others. Leading implies that you are ahead of others. True or false? If I'm leading you, I can't lead you from behind. I will be ahead so that you will be seeing me. Otherwise, you will go the wrong way, then I will not call you back. If we are going to a place you don't know the road, who should take the lead? The person that knows the road. That means the person will be ahead. So leadership requires that you step out first. That's what leadership is all about. Leadership requires that you step out what? First. Don't step out last. Leadership is leading. Say it one more time. Leadership is leading. And in leading, you step out first. Leading implies providing the right direction and guidance. Leadership is leading. By that, it implies providing the right direction and guidance. Leadership is all about providing the right direction and guidance. Right direction and guidance. Leadership means to lead. To lead. To lead implies to guide on a way, especially by going in advance, being in front. Leadership is going in an advance to guide others on a right way. If you are not willing to be ahead of others, okay, forget it. Leadership is not for you. A leader must be a step ahead. A leader must learn to step up. A leader must learn to take the step. A leader must be in advanced position. You are the leader. You are the one leading. True or false? You are the leader. You are the one doing what? Leading. That's what leadership is all about. Be the first. And let me add this. Don't just be the first. Be the best. Did you hear what I said? Don't just be the first. Be what? I end with this, my popular quote. It is better to be the last among foolish people than No, it is better. This is actually what I want to say. It is better to be the last among the best than to be the first among foolish people. How many of you know the last among the best is still better than first among foolish people? It is better to be what? The last among the best than to be the first among foolish people. Leadership requires that you be the first and also be the best. Be the first and be the best. And be the first among the best. Be the very best among the best. Are you hearing me? This morning I challenge you. Be bold. Be willing to step out first. That's what leadership is all about. Be willing. Be bold to step out first. Take the lead. It's your time. The baton is in your hand. Take what? The lead. Take the lead. Step out. Be bold. Step out. Be bold. Why should I be bold? Because what you are afraid of is already afraid of you. Everybody stand.